That's him.
He's too excited. This seems to be a problem.
What's going on, guys? Coach Gaglione here. Here's another Gags Calls update. It's your first time stopping by. I'm Coach Gaglione, and I've been involved with powerlifting and strength coaching for over 19 years. I've been as heavy as 340 pounds, did a bodybuilding show back in 2020, got down to 198 pounds, stayed lean, squatted, first and only man to squat 800 pounds in 6 different weight classes, and right now I'm sitting around the 280 mark. If you've been following me recently, I did a little bit of an sugar diet experiment. I went from about like mid 290s. I think the heaviest I saw on the scale was 294. I think I got down to like 268. So I put some weight back on since kind of eating more normally. Got sick, been run down, been dealing with a lot of stress. But one of the things I've been trying to kind of figure out and incorporate is more of a performance-based diet. So I've been still kind of trying to make an effort to keep my fats low. Some days and some weeks have been better than others. The last 2 weeks in particular, like I said, I don't have an exact time frame. I could have took better notes, but I was pretty sick for a while. I didn't want to like restrict myself too much. Just wanted to kind of feel better. Been a lot of travel, been run down. Kids are getting back to school. Never thought I'd be one of those guys to kind of complain about just like normal, just kind of life things. But all those things do take a toll, and it's good to take those things into account. But it's one of those things where like kind of focusing on strict curl versus powerlifting has been helpful just because the training's a lot more manageable. I'm able to recover a little bit better. I did have like a kind of a side quest, if you will, kind of canceled. I ended up kind of just getting up to, I did an exhibition squat of 804 pounds, 365 kilos. That was kind of unexpected, but that was fun. But right now, at the time of this recording, kind of full steam ahead to Mr. America. So that's the next strict curl contest. Again, I'm definitely kind of behind where I'd like to be in terms of my body fat and body weight, but I am kind of making strides back in the right direction. So I just want to kind of highlight a little bit of something that else that I have kind of in the works and just kind of what I'm doing with my diet. So trying to really kind of keep my fats low, focusing on more starches and lean meats in particular. I still am having some fruit. I am still having some sugar here and there. I'm still having some veggies. But just trying to like really kind of minimize the amount of total fat that I'm eating throughout the day and throughout the week, outside of like just kind of meals out. And even when I'm kind of eating out, I've been trying to be more conscious. I do think that especially if you're eating out, that's going to be where it's going to be the most challenging outside of like a plain sushi situation. That's a tongue twister. It's going to be very hard to do so. So trying to kind of, if I have like, you know, if I do go outside of kind of going out to eat and stuff like that, so I haven't been having as much salmon, haven't been having as much whole eggs in a typical day. In a typical day, I might still have some fruit juice or some kind of carbs from juice in my pre-workout with some caffeine. And then for post-workout, I'll do something like either oats or like rice and grinds, like some sort of, you know, kind of low-fat, kind of base cereal type deal. But it's mostly been oats or cream of rice. Sometimes with protein powder. Sometimes I've just been doing these kind of genius shots from, I think, Dr. Mike's company. But things that are going to be low in fat. So I'm trying to be mindful of keeping the fat content low. Still having some fruit here and there. Sometimes mixing berries and things of that nature. Sometimes I'll do just different things. Again, sometimes I might add some sugar or honey if I feel like I need it. So that's kind of usually kind of like my pre-workout and like post-workout nutrition. And outside of that, then usually somewhere between maybe two bigger meals throughout the day, maybe some snacks. Snacks might be popcorn, snacks might be like other kind of starches. But in terms of, I'll usually do a lean meat and a starch 2 more times after that. So my protein is coming back up quite a bit. And sometimes I also might use low-fat cottage cheese or Greek yogurt, non-fat Greek yogurt as a condiment, or just to add some more protein to the meal or change the consistency of what I'm doing. So my lean meat sources have been things like turkey, 96% lean beef. So my red meat consumption is down a little bit. I haven't really had turkey or chicken quite as often. I'm also doing a lot of canned or shredded chicken. Canned chicken, pretty good. I'm using the Amazon brand, but so I'm doing a lot of meals with canned chicken, sometimes canned potatoes. Trying to kind of minimize time a little bit because I've been, my time has been very limited. I've been getting up at sometimes 4, as early as 4, sometimes, you know, but on average between 4 and 4:30, just to kind of start my day and kind of get my workouts in and get some of my work done. So it's been definitely kind of stressful. But I am going to bed at like between 8 and 8:30 most nights, so I can get up at like 4 o'clock. But even with that, it's just been kind of tough to kind of balance everything. Shrimp's also been a staple. And in terms of starches, usually some sort of rice, potatoes, and again, the potatoes and oats in particular have more micronutrients in them, and as well as like the fruit and vegetables. So I've been trying to kind of make sure I'm doing things like carrots and sweet peppers as well. And I've also been kind of adding some pasta back into the mix and having low-fat pasta sauce. So rotating through in terms of condiments, I talked about cottage cheese and Greek yogurt, salsas, hot sauces, low-fat or zero-fat marinara sauce. That's been kind of like the staple in terms of that. At some point, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and probably track a bit. And I'm not really, and I haven't really been doing too much in terms of, I've been walking a bit more like on a treadmill. I've been going to a commercial gym, so you guys have been seeing some workouts there. And shrimp has been kind of a staple. So this is just something I've been trying to do things again, even if it's not as cost effective, this is kind of time effective. So one of the other things I'm going to be doing is just kind of like a fun shrimp eating contest. So it's something I could still kind of do for fun on my plan. One of my kind of goals for this other side quest that got canceled was just to kind of network, kind of meet people in the community. And I don't know if stuffing my face with shrimp is going to be the best introduction to some people, but if nothing else, people will know who I am. I'll meet some people, have some fun in the process. So today we're going to do a test run. I believe that the shrimp eating contest is 5 minutes long, and you get up to 2 pounds of shrimp. So it's essentially, in my opinion, it's more of a speed contest than it is a volume contest, because again, 2 pounds of food is not too much food in my opinion. So this is about 1.5 pounds of shrimp. We're going to see how fast I could take it down, and I'll kind of keep you posted again on the diet, how things are going with Mr. America and other things. But in any case, I just want to give you guys a dietary update. So I'm trying to do like a lower fat, higher carbohydrate diet. I've definitely kind of put some weight back on, but I do think some of that weight is good. And my workouts have been great, despite being stressed, despite being sick, things have been good. So I'm going to kind of peel these guys up, and then we'll kind of set a timer and see what I could do. All right, so this is about 1.5 pounds of shrimp. I'm going to give myself 5 minutes. We have the option to do up to 2 pounds, but we're just going to see how long it takes me to get through this. I don't have any kind of condiments or anything. I think I am going to give myself a drink just in case. One of my favorites. Okay, so I'm going to give myself a little countdown. I'm going to see how we do. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, begin. Alrighty, so we're going to try to record a little bit of a voiceover, so you're not just kind of watching me eat for several minutes, but essentially what I wanted to kind of do in this video is just to start to showcase some other aspects of my training, my lifestyle, and just give you a little bit of insight on how I think, just for things kind of, outside of training. But one thing that, I think that is becoming more and more apparent for me personally is that I just kind of like enjoy challenging myself physically. I enjoy competing. And one of the things I thought would be kind of cool with this particular shrimp eating contest, I didn't really kind of see like kind of a downside in just kind of overeating something that, these were plain shrimp, high in protein, kind of lower in fat, and kind of fit my diet. Although, again, I'm a lot heavier than I'd like to be right now. So maybe eating challenge doesn't make like the most sense from like a health standpoint, regardless of like the macronutrient breakdown. It was just something kind of fun, and I had a lot of fun. So at the time of this, as I'm recording this voiceover, I just kind of finished the contest, and you'll kind of see the contest later. I do also wanted to kind of just showcase here, about a pound of meat is about 100 grams of protein. So, in a pinch, if you had to, whether, regardless of it was, shrimp, chicken, tuna, lean beef, if you needed to kind of just get a pretty decent protein requirement, you can kind of do so in like 5 to 10 minutes. So a lot of times, again, when people say like, I don't have time to kind of do this, there's a lot more research showing that kind of meal frequency is like not as important. So if you did need to kind of just, knock out a large bolus of protein, whether it be first thing in the morning or later in the day, you can kind of do so. And as long as you're kind of digesting, you're going to get that steady flow of amino acids, which can help stimulate muscle protein synthesis, help with your recovery. So regardless of if you're trying to adjust your body composition through dropping body fat and preserving muscle, or if you're trying to kind of, add size and strength, lean tissue, nothing wrong with having like one big protein meal if you're kind of pinched for time. So I just wanted to kind of showcase that. One of the things that you'll also kind of find here, if you are someone that's trying to lose weight, kind of palate fatigue is a thing. And, there is, when it comes to losing weight, eating foods that are a little bit like less convenient to eat. So if I had to kind of peel all these shrimp, this is going to be a lot more work to kind of put down versus kind of protein powder. So if you're someone that's trying to gain weight, potentially have more liquid calories, things that are kind of, less, have more moisture, those sorts of things. So if things are kind of dry, if things are kind of bland, if things are kind of more meaty, those are going to be kind of harder to eat. So you can kind of use those strategies in your favor, or to kind of get more food in potentially, or you can kind of understand the opposite. And if you are trying to kind of add friction to things, that could be kind of good in like a kind of a dieting phase. So those are just some things to kind of consider. And I certainly, this was just something that's kind of been really interesting. I've been kind of, some people we like to kind of watch on YouTube, people like kind of Eric the Electric, who's also kind of getting into some powerlifting, famous kind of lifter, kind of before Joey Chestnut's run, who's like one of the number one ranked competitive eater in the world, was Kobayashi. And Kobayashi did some powerlifting, I think some bench-only competitions, Japanese kind of athlete. So there has been some kind of crossover to competitive eating and powerlifting. It's not like super common, but some things that kind of are kind of interesting. And a lot of these competitive eaters kind of do take their fitness pretty seriously. Not all of them are kind of big guys. Joey Chestnut's a pretty big guy, but he's still like, seems like fairly healthy body composition and kind of lean. So just wanted to kind of showcase that a little bit. And okay, I'm going to try to, so I think I end up kind of, once I kind of get to, it seems like, 4 minutes in or so, starting to slow down a bit. And one of the things if I do want to kind of do this challenge again next year, figuring out like what I'm going to be doing in terms of liquid, in terms of also kind of how many shrimp I'm eating at a time. So you'll kind of see here once I kind of get to the contest footage. All right, so not quite a success, but should probably measure this at some point, but probably got through a little bit more than half. Just kind of base. I should get a food scale next time. I'm gonna. I stopped the timer at 5 minutes. Did not finish the whole pound and a half. I think definitely over a pound is going to win this. You get a lot of flavor fatigue. It's really tough, so it's definitely a speed challenge. I don't think people are going to finish the 2 pounds in 5 minutes. I'm going to take a little bit of a breather. I'm going to put a little honey on this just to kind of see if some sweetness or potentially some hot sauce. I don't have hot sauce with me, but I'm going to kind of practice to see. I'm not sure if that will be allowed or not, but I do think that potentially adding in some fast-acting sugars. This might help me get down the food a little bit easier. If you've ever had like meat and rice, that usually helps get your protein down. So I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to put a little honey on this last couple of shrimps and then just kind of see how long it takes me to kind of finish that. So I'm going to do another kind of round and then a little recap. All right, so what we're going to do here, just a little drizzle of honey, and just to kind of see how that affects our time. And for those that want to kind of gain weight, this could be a good little clue. So we're going to go round 2. 3, 2, 1, go. So one of the things you'll see here, I kind of added some hot sauce to the mix. So I think that if you are having trouble kind of getting your protein down, getting your food down, adding some sauces, salsas, condiments. One of my buddies, Dude's Gourmet, local Long Island guy, makes great seasonings. So seasonings, condiments, salsas. Again, depending on if you're kind of in a mass gain phase or not, I would say the only thing I would kind of be wary of is just if the sauces are like really high in fat. If you're kind of getting some sauces that have some potential sugar and stuff, I think that can be like totally fine when used sparingly. And if you're kind of just having a meal with carbohydrates in it, like post-workout, I wouldn't worry too much about sugar. But if you are trying to kind of keep calories low, if you are trying to just kind of be able to get your food down, again, hot sauces can be a good option. Seasonings can be a good option. Salsa is another good one. Another kind of thing that I've been kind of learning and just kind of observing from people like from Massonomics and strength coach Will Rittel, using kind of cottage cheese as a condiment. You could use low fat if you're trying to, again, keep those fat calories down. So cottage cheese as a condiment, low fat or non-fat Greek yogurt as a condiment, and those things could potentially be savory or sweet. I personally like to use cottage cheese more kind of for savory meals. That could be kind of be a good replacement for like something like ricotta cheese, for things like kind of pastas and more kind of Italian type dishes. If you're kind of trying to have like some sort of replacement for mozzarella cheese, ricotta cheese, for all our Italians out there. If you're having that, tomato sauce can be a great option. So tomato sauce combined with cottage cheese can be great for kind of Italian style dishes. Low-fat Greek yogurt or low-fat cottage cheese can be good for Mexican style dishes with salsa. And then Greek yogurt can be, again, I like to use Greek yogurt for either both savory and sweet. But if you're having, again, Mexican, you could do Greek yogurt as a sour cream replacement. You could also do cottage cheese as a potential sour cream replacement or just cheese replacement. So those are just some great options. And kind of dairy has also some unique properties in terms of calcium. And the protein seems to be really helpful for growth. A lot of, the whole gallon of milk a day and things like that. But again, it's just something, if you're going to be using the lower fat version, you still get like a lot of the benefits. Just by, again, keeping those fat calories low. So, and again, at the time of this recording, I'm going to probably be starting to implement a little bit of some sugar diet principles. Once again, probably doing some intermittent sugar fasting where I'm kind of just having maybe fruit until noon and maybe 2 like low fat starch and protein meals. And then maybe maybe 1 to 2 or even 3 days a week. I might start to implement a little bit sugar fasting again, just to get some weight. Because now I've been, haven't been as sick. I kind of got sick, been traveling, been stressed. Again, for those that are kind of following along, I kind of partially tore my hamstring. So I'm just trying to be healthy. I didn't want to kind of put myself in a calorie deficit while I was sick, while I was kind of dealing with a hamstring injury. That's improving, but still needs to be better. So after this, strict curl contest, definitely going to be going into health phase, get my body weight back down, and just try to not worry so much about my absolute strength. And again, I have a lot of muscle mass. I put on a lot of muscle, I think, as well as body fat this year. So if I lose a little bit of muscle mass, not the end of the world. So again, we're going to get another minute. So I ended up took me a long time. The second kind of round, I really slowed down and just kind of training. I did a couple of training sessions leading up to the contest. But my technique and my, so capacity was not an issue the day of the contest, but my speed was. So if I do this contest again, it's something I'll be kind of strategizing on and just trying to figure out if I want to do one at a time, if I want to do the chipmunk method or something else. But again, just kind of a fun challenge. And again, for me, just seeking out any sort of challenge, I think, again, is just kind of something that's kind of fun. And I do kind of enjoy putting a little bit of kind of pressure on myself in front of a crowd. Again, and something, an eating contest is not something I've really kind of done outside of something when I was a teacher called Sports Night. So again, you'll see the footage in a little bit. So, a couple of things I noticed in terms of like for training purposes for competitive eating. I think kind of separating. I should have waited longer. Potentially even did it on a different day or a few hours later to do like a second run because my jaw actually got really tired muscularly. And at a certain point, I just wasn't really wanting to eat the food anymore. Changing the flavor profile helped like a little bit, but at that point, again, my jaw was really more of the factor, and I just felt like I couldn't even get down the food anymore. So I do think this is going to be like a speed type of event. So I think if you're kind of comparing want to take something from this powerlifting to strongman and stuff like that, there's going to be some strategy when you're doing something for like a 1 rep max versus doing something for time. And if you have a certain like load that you're doing like an AMRAP with, or have a certain 60-second timer, you got to kind of figure out. So like for me, the capacity, it was like not the issue, but like the speed and the jaw fatigue and the flavor fatigue. So those are just some things I might like put some hot sauce in my pocket or something to help kind of with that. I may need to use strategy in terms of liquid a little bit better, but anyways, something kind of fun. And in terms of like just kind of getting your food down, sometimes. I think if you can kind of make, your nutrition kind of fun, something like this, if you're someone that kind of struggles with getting their protein in, like I said, I just had like well over, I'm sure like 100 grams of protein in a sitting. So it can be done. But anyways, just something fun. I'm not sure if you guys like think this was gross, if you think this was cool, if you'd like to kind of see more, just kind of more eating stuff, whether it be a challenge or whether it just be like just kind of getting a little bit more insight on nutrition, gaining weight, gaining muscle, getting your protein in, whatever you guys need. Because at the end of the day, like even though like this channel and my education's been more powerlifting centric and focused, it's really just about the pursuit of strength, the pursuit of getting stronger. And part of that is eating enough protein. Part of that is getting good nutrition in. You don't necessarily have to do it in this type of volume or this eating contest, and maybe this isn't like the healthiest thing. But just something fun I thought I would do. The only time I've ever done like an eating challenge before was when I was teaching. I think it was like White Castle burgers for time, and I beat all the kids in that. That was a long time ago. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it didn't gross you out too much. Until next time, stay strong, and we'll see you soon.
Glen Richards, after Pennsylvania. Chris Rockland, New York.
John Gaglione, Long Island, New York.
Just so you know, there's only one Delaware participating. It's on the end. There you go. All right, so on the count of 3, I'm going to count you down, and you're going to go ahead and start. 1, 2, 3, go!
Let's go, John!
All right, so I'm not going to do too much talking here, but here is kind of the main footage from the contest. There's a lot of kind of unknowns going into the contest. I wasn't sure how heavily the shrimp were going to be seasoned. I wasn't sure if we had access to water and sauces, things like that. So I kind of went with the strategy of having water in one hand and just kind of taking shrimp in the other hand. And I took quite a bit of shrimp. One thing I kind of also learned was I need to probably not be as amped up kind of going into some sort of eating contest, just because sometimes your sympathetic drive can make you look a little bit nauseous, which made it a little bit harder to swallow, made it a little bit harder to kind of get the food down quickly. And for something like a 5-minute challenge, it's like more of a speed challenge and a capacity challenge. So just kind of understanding the different strategies. So again, so if you look at like the differences between something like kettlebell sport, which is more strength endurance. If you look at something like strongman, which is going to be like a mix of different qualities, using power, using absolute strength, using strength endurance. CrossFit's a good example. You need
John, you got
mostly
it.
strength,
1 minute in.
pure endurance. Something like high rocks, you need pure endurance, and in powerlifting, you need more just absolute strength. Weightlifting, you need power, athleticism, and strength. So just kind of understanding, depending on like where your kind of deficits are. So like for me, if I wanted to hypothetically improve my performance here, I have to kind of work on my speed and my technique. Because like I said, you'll kind of see here, end up kind of taking
minute 30 in, you got 3.5
pretty,
minutes left,
I guess, condensing second place here. Again, I probably took it, in my view, probably took it more serious than maybe some of the other people, but again, I just wanted to kind of challenge myself.
Come on, John, you got this.
Definitely did a little bit over a pound, but was not able to finish the full 2 pounds in 5 minutes. And just for example, I know like Gilly Chestnut has done somewhere like 20 pounds with cocktail sauce. So it kind of just kind of shows you that there's levels to this. But anyways, this was a lot of fun. It was kind of good just to kind of challenge myself, and also again, it's a good reminder that if you do need to get your protein up, you can get 50, 100, 150 grams in 5 to 10 minutes if you really count it. So you have time to get your protein in, you have time to fuel your body, and just remember again, meal frequency is not as important. Just something to kind of note if you are kind of pinched for time.
All right, we are halfway home. 2 minutes and
kind of
30
build muscle,
seconds left.
recover from your,
Let's
and
go, John.
yeah, and like I said, so anyways, just something I think it's kind of good. Go challenge yourself, have fun. Don't take everything so seriously. And hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys like more videos like this, let us know. So until next
Come
time,
on,
stay
John,
strong.
almost there.
And we'll see you soon. Enjoy the rest of the video.
Come on.
2 minutes left. All right, looking good over here. Yeah. All right. It's pretty close heat right now. I think we might have to bring the scale out.
Come on, you got this.
All right, we got a dead heat right now, it looks like.
Come on, John.
One minute left. 1 minute left. All right, we're getting close. We officially have 30 seconds left.
Come on, John. You got it. Let's go. Come on, John. Come on, you got it.
15 seconds.
Let's go. Come on, John.
9, 8, 7,
6, 5, 4, 3, go, go, go.
1. All right, that's it.
Did he win? Did they do it yet or not?
Come on up, sir. Grab this trophy. Come on up here. We'll get some
All right,
pictures.
so the official results came in. Official second place for the Delaware Seafood Festival, my first kind of intentional eating contest. If you guys want to see just more kind of random videos, let me know. Until next time, stay strong, and we'll see you soon.